Let's do that.
Well, I wrote I Am Not a Victim in 2016 when there was a lot of heat going on in Quebec about Muslim women wearing their traditional or religious head covering. I was listening to, on CBC about this, the news coverage of this, group of people that were having an issue with these Muslim women choosing to dress how they want to.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a big stink. And I'm kind of thinking, going, it seems like women are damned if they do, damned if they don't. If it's like plus 45 outside and we decide to take our shirts off, we're arrested for that. And then you have modest Muslim women who are covered head to foot, and all you see is their eyes, and that's not good enough. And I'm like, could you please just leave us alone on that? My point is, though, is where is that coming from?
Right.
And I think, we really need to ask that question: who's benefiting from that at that time in Quebec? Really inflammatory escapism that's going on against the Muslim community. And in my day when I was a kid, it was the Irish, and then it was the Italian, and then it was people from Somalia, and it just goes on and on. So when I wrote that piece, it was like, what? I don't see myself as a victim. I'm a woman. I've had tragedies in my life, but I refuse to identify as a victim. But yet, everywhere in the media, whether it's movies or a news article or whatever, even if a woman does something like she let's say she wins an Olympic gold, at some point they have to bring in a tragedy that she's a victim of something, and it almost distracts from that she's accomplished something. Like, she's not celebrated for the fact she's worked really hard to get to point A to point B, and she's at the top of her game. They have to bring her down a notch by saying, oh, well, yeah, you did this because you had to overcome this obstacle of whatever. It's like, why do you do that to men? No, it's like, hey, yeah, you're a great sports guy and you did really well and you can play that guitar so great, you're a god. But it's a totally different lens women are perceived through in media, and it's just my defiant cry of saying, no, I'm not buying you telling me I'm a victim, because I'm not. And that's what that piece is about.
Okay.
I speak for myself and not for anyone else, but it's just my point of view on me not swallowing that whole thing. Because women.
So it's this idea of, like, instead of talking about tragedies and which everybody has, but
they do not define me, who I am as a person.
Right, and so you'd rather talk about the successes.
Yeah.
And the things that separate you, the good things that separate you.
And the progress, it's great to know where you're from, to know where you're going. But I'm not interested in being viewed as, oh, well, I'm a victim and this is why I can't do what I want to do. It's like, no. That's a form of repression within itself. So being progressive and saying, this is where I want to go and this is the steps I need to get. The first step for me was to say, no, I'm not a victim. I'm in complete control of my life. And I can't control what life throws at me, but I can definitely control how I choose to interact with whatever it is life throws at me. That I'm no longer a victim when I accept that philosophy in my own school of thought. I'm not speaking for anyone else. I'm just speaking for me as a person.
Right.